In today's video, we are going to create a Jetpack Compose application. So let's get started. First of all, let's create a new project, and here you should select empty activity for the Jetpack Compose, and let's name it anything that you like to call it. For example, I'm calling it a responder app, and let's finish this and let the project load. Once the project loading is finished, then we'll come back. Here you can see we have a pretty basic application. Enable edge to edge. It will let your application do edge to edge, and we'll just remove that later. In set content view, we have a responder app theme, and inside we have a scaffold, and inside the modifier which is saying to fill maximum size. And then here we have a composable, which is a greeting of simple text, and it is taking two parameters. First one is name and second is the modifier. We are using inside this scaffold this greeting composable, and it is sending the name and the modifier. The modifier is just pretty much only the paddings right now. And we also can use the preview. We can run it like this, and it will start loading inside your attached device. You have to wait, and here you have your first preview of the greetings modifier. So this is the way to get started. You can simply change it here, but if you don't change it in the preview, it will not reflect in the preview. So as you can see, I just changed the name of task, but it is still Hello Android. The main reason is that I didn't change it inside my preview. So what I have to do is I have to go inside my preview, and inside that I also has to change the test, the greetings, like this. So that will reflect into. The next thing is we are going to use the MVVM architecture. So let's talk about what will be going over folder structure. We will have over main activity, then we have a UI folder, and inside that we will be getting our screens, and inside the screen we'll be defining all of our screens. So let's get started. Just going to call it UI.screens, and here you will see we have a new folder which is scenes, screens, and inside that screen we are going to create a new folder which will be named home screen, and inside that home screen we'll have two files, HomeScreen.kt and ViewModel for the home screen. So let's come back and create a new package inside our screens, and we will call this package over home screen, because that's what we are going to create over first screen. And inside that home screen we will be creating a new file. Just create a Kotlin class file. We are going to name it HomeScreen.kt. Now we have a class named HomeScreen. Let's create a view model, and we will call it HomeViewModel.kt, and this is the second class that we are going to create inside the same screens folder and the home screen folder. And now you can see clearly that we have screens and two files inside that home screen folder. And what these are for, these are basically the HomeScreen.kt is a composable, and that will define the composable for over UI for the home screen, and the home view model is the UI related state and logic for your home screen interacting with your data layer. We are just going to replace our new composable, which is pretty much similar to the previous one, the greetings composable. It's like we have a column as a top composable, And inside that we have modifier and vertical arrangements and horizontal arrangements in alignment center. So they will just center everything, and we are getting the modifier to fill maximum size. Then we have two text boxes, and they will say welcome emergency responder and awaiting for notifications. Then we have a preview. Inside that preview, we are just running the home screen. So let's preview this, and once the preview is finished, you will notice that your new composable will be reflected inside that preview screen. So you just have to wait. Composable is running properly, and we are good to move further. So far, we have a separate composable for our home screen inside our screens folder, and we successfully created our first screen, which is named home screen, and we are good to use this screen for our future reference. This now, if you try to understand the modifier settings, modifier fill max size just simply says that take the full screen, and vertical and horizontal arrangements just will tell them to center everything. And then we have our UI element text, and then we have our packages. So now we are just simply getting this inside our set content view of our main app. So let's move back to our coding and open up our main activity.kt file. Inside that, we are going to introduce a state management system. So to understand that, we have to understand what are the states. By default, the composables are stateless, which means that being stateless means that they don't remember things on their own, using mutable state of. So how we are going to do this? We are simply going down, and inside we are creating a variable which is emergency active, which means that someone initiated the emergency which is not responded yet, and we have to define it by remember keyword. So by remember will let the user know that it will be not be lost when the next state is refreshed. So here we are simulating some emergency, and we are also simulating a button click. Whenever the button is clicked, we are simply setting this to true, and then we are just activating the mutable state of. This is an object across recomposition. Without remember, the state would be reset every time the composable redraws. So every time the composable redraws, if we don't put the by remember, it will just redraws everything. So here you can see we have a simple if else statement to hold over logic, and we have a button click states. So now we are just going to replace our greetings composable with our new home screen composable. And how we are going to do, we are simply just removing everything, and we are just going to use the home screen activity, the home screen composable, and we are just going to replace it with the new home screen. And inside that, we have to provide the parameters which are required, and these parameters for now is simply a modifier, and we are just adding a padding inside that modifier, nothing fancy. And here you can see we have our first button click, and that button is being clicked and emergency is being simulated like this. So whenever we click, a new emergency active with the coordinates, and we can click a resolve emergency, which will set the mutable to false, and a simple button toggle function inside Jetpack Compose. So that's all for today's video.